Welcome back, everybody, to This Is My Bourbon Podcast. I'm your host, Perry. And with me is President-elect Whiskey Mutant Eric Smith. I had to look in the monitor to see what you were doing there. It was very funny. You could... Sorry, audio listeners. Love you to death, but Eric's making some very funny faces.
It's me
at us.
Whiskey Mutant.
Yeah,
I'm here, Eric.
We have made it.
We made
it's
it.
Another week. Happy Turkey Week, everybody. Happy Thanksgiving to those of you celebrating in America. The United States of, I should say. We've made it to another one.
We've made it. Hopefully you put your turkey out already to thaw. Otherwise,
you're screwed. Hopefully you've brined it.
Hopefully you've brined it.
Hopefully you brined your
ready
turkey.
to go.
Good 3-day brine.
You can't microwave a turkey.
Don't microwave a turkey.
And don't put a frozen turkey in a deep fryer.
Oh, so many good tips that we should have given last week. But I'll give you a good tip right now, and that's that you should head to patreon.com/mybourbonpodcast for as little as $1 a month to support this show that you're listening to right now. But at $5 a month, you get bonus content every single daggum week, including but not limited to a bonus episode on every Monday. This weekedy, we did Pop Chicka Wow Wow, which is an episode where we pop open a brand new bottle. We did Stagg batch 24B. I will be able to talk eventually. I'm just a little nervous and excited about this episode. So
why?
I don't want to spoil it. They already seen the title. You know why.
What if they didn't? What if they go into it blind?
I don't know how people would do that.
What if people are so into like blind tastings and stuff that they are even
blind listenings?
They go into blind listenings. They don't read titles. They're like me on trailers. They don't watch trailers. They're just like new episodes.
I'd be impressed. But yeah, we did Pop Chicka Wow Wow this week. You have the pregame chats that come out every Tuesday. Before the uncut version of the podcast that you're listening to, edited on Wednesdays, but the uncut version comes out on Tuesdays as well, with bonus content just for the Patreon community.
How much of a relief is it when you post like an uncut episode? You're like, I don't have to do nothing of this. You're just like...
honestly, not at all, because it means I have editing that I have to do. All I've done at that point is just export audio files.
Yeah, but you've got that done.
Yeah, that's like
check it off your list.
That's like I haven't done anything yet.
You can check it off the list.
Okay,
make
fine.
yourself feel better.
That's true. That is true. We have a new Patreon member this week that we will thank at the end of the episode.
Yeah, I saw them the other day.
I'm very excited for Eric to relay to us his adventures.
Yeah.
I feel like I had something else I was going to mention up top as well. Something about the Patreon? Oh, I know something I was going to mention. So later in the episode, we will do our regular segment, Barrel Rings, which is a segment of the show that you can participate in by calling or texting. You would call and leave us a voicemail.
859-428-8253.
There we go. 859-428-8253. If you're watching, the number is on screen. If you're listening or wherever, that number is also in the description, along with all of our other social media links, any other, promo stuff that we do. That's all in the description below. But anyway, there is another way for you to submit messages or whatnot for us to receive correspondence, I suppose. And you can basically just do it from your podcast app, and it takes you to, I think, just a place where you can submit a message. But it's through our hosting site, Buzzsprout.
Oh, the fan mail thing.
Yeah, the fan mail. It says send us a text message in the description. We don't have it on YouTube. You would have to go to a podcast app. But still, if you want to do it, just from your phone, you could use Barrel Rings. But we got a really nice message that we'll read out later on as well from our fan mail that just kind of warmed my heart. And I don't know. I'll talk about it later.
Even another way for people to not
correspond with us. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Perfect.
We did also talk last week about the single barrel problem, and a little bit of discussion went on in our Discord about it.
That's
so
a lot of good topics sometimes in Discord.
Sometimes,
not so much. But that's just a chance you take.
So we will get to that in a little bit as well. But we normally kick off episodes with Flying Blind or Sips and Snacks. Sips and Snacks came around when the Whiskey Mutant joined the podcast because he's the pear. Oh, I almost said you were the pear bear. That's me.
You're the pear bear.
you're the pairing guy. you pair whiskey with.
Imagine
things.
if like I got invited to a big event and they were like, "This is the pairing guy."
The guy who
I was
pairs things, I guess. I don't know.
Thanks for the intro. Appreciate it.
You wrote up like a whole thing on how you pair stuff.
All this stuff, like my way, I do it this way, and it's a really thought out process.
Yeah.
And they're like, he's just the
pairing guy. You go follow him on social media. You see how he pairs.
He ruins stuff. Well, today we're going to do a pairing that I don't know if I've actually ever done, but I've always talked about it.
Okay.
So we're pretty much Christmas season, you know.
Oh, okay. I thought they were just regular Christmas tree cakes.
Well, I have those too.
I know that's yeah.
See,
But
but
these are not those.
we're doing the gingerbread soft cookies.
I am so excited for this.
And we're going to do it with one of the most Christmassy gingerbready pours that we both love.
Oh, yes.
Pursuit United Rye Batch 7cc. It's been years, but I still have, this is like my second bottle of it, I think. Still don't know what CC stands for. It's not
Cecil and Coleman.
like it should be. Makes no sense at all, but that doesn't matter.
It was just their batch, I think, but
Because
we'll let it be a conspiracy.
This thing, I said, was like a gingerbread man in a bottle. It was just so like holiday. So we're going to put it to the test, and we're going to pair it with a gingerbread man.
Let's do it.
All right.
Genuinely one of my favorite rye whiskeys ever. Like not even trying to blow smoke, not trying to,
we loved it. It was one of my top of the
year
that year
when it came out. And that was in 22, I want to say.
I don't know. I mean, you could probably look at the batch number and see, but we wouldn't know.
I'm 95% sure that it was.
We were still in your
2022.
garage.
Yes, we were. And I was still doing tours regularly for the tour company.
So these little gingerbread men are just, they keep getting smaller and smaller every year. I've
That
got to talk
sucks.
to Deborah about this.
Giant Deborah.
Giant Deborah, old Deb, but they're still good. They're just these soft little gingerbread cookies. Actually, I read something that yesterday was gingerbread cookie day.
I didn't know that. Well,
yeah, I have a little calendar in the office that like does fun facts for the day, and that's what it says. It's just a nice little treat.
Mm-hmm.
And pretty good to be pretty good gingerbread tasting to be an artificial little cookie.
Be prepackaged and.
Oh Lord.
Oh Lord.
Oh Lord.
That was
this
very
smells
church
so
lady,
good.
Southern church lady of you for some
Oh
reason.
Lord. Oh yes.
This pairing is going to be
I can already
spectacular.
tell. Look, I bit his head off. I'm going to pour it right down on
I pulled his head off.
Damn. Would you rather have your head bit off or chewed off? I mean, pulled off. Like somebody bites your head off, or would they pull it off?
What's the difference at that point?
I don't know. What? I figured if...
chew. Actually, just like bit right off.
Oh, this is so good. This pairing is delicious. It just elevates the whole thing.
It actually makes it a little bit peppery.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. It brings out more of that ginger spice.
Yeah.
Oh, God, that's so good.
It kind of...
And you can do a pour over like this, and it just soaks up into the cookie.
Yeah. It kind of reminds me, in a weird way... Actually, you know what it is? It's not eggnog. It's just nutmeg.
Yeah.
It's just a straight up nutmeg note.
It's like if you're drinking the eggnog and they did the little sprinkle of nutmeg on top of it, and you got that, a big heap of that.
Mm-hmm.
That's delicious.
That's something I'm really excited about at this time of year
Eggnog.
is your eggnog.
Yeah, baby. I love making my eggnog.
Dang, man.
That's
That's a
delicious.
solid pairing.
That's good.
I would say you could do this with pretty much any of their ryes.
Mm-hmm.
It would work out.
Yeah.
But
We got to just do all the favorites, though, here.
yeah, of course.
Delicious, man.
But if you want to be like the Whiskey Mutant.
And ruin stuff. You want to be like the guy who pairs things. You want to be like that dude.
Sorry about that.
Oh, it's your computer there, not mine.
Well, it didn't get near my computer.
Remember the time you did spill whiskey all over your computer?
Mm-hmm. I think I was on a live stream.
You were. And it kept working for a while, and then it just didn't.
And then it just didn't.
That was funny.
That also was in 2022.
Yeah.
Yeah. What have you been drinking recently?
What have I been drinking? I'll tell you something I'm going to be drinking. I had been drinking, but I'm going to save it for high proof hot take because it has to do with
Interesting.
my high proof hot take.
Okay.
It's the story that revolves around it. But other than that, let me see.
He's got to go into the archives.
Well, I had so much random rare character the last couple of days since we were doing the live stream. That's I pulled back into the Sneakerhead blend for another pour. A buddy from work wanted a sample. So when you pour somebody a sample, you also have to take a pour for yourself.
Well, yeah, always.
And that thing has gotten so much better.
Has it?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. Sneakerhead blend. I had a little bit of the DNA, the Maker's Mark DNA the other day.
Oh.
It's still delicious.
Yeah.
Still delicious. That's the first time I had it in a long time. And I still, to this day, think it's one of my favorite Maker's Mark ever.
I completely agree.
So good.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
What drew you to that? Just
saw
that it was there?
It was just there.
Yeah. That's one of my favorite things when you're like, I kind of forgot about this. And
Yeah,
then you
it
see
was-
it and you're like, I need to get back into it.
It was just like that. It was like, I'm going to have a pour. It was one of my times where I just felt like I just want a good, solid, high-proof pour. That's all I'm having for the evening. I just want that, sip on it for a while. And I was kind of looking at Elijah Craig barrel proofs, and then I was looking at, other stuff on the shelf. And that red wax was just sitting there like, hey, haven't had me in a while.
Come see me.
Come see me. And I was like,
I
you know
miss
what?
you.
I have missed you. And it was really good.
Nice.
So those are two. And I'll tell you about one more thing later on in the show.
Gotcha. Well, I went to Rare Character last week. A couple of times, actually.
Oh, no, you were there like 2 days in a
I was there 2 days in a row. Mostly because I was expecting to be able to stay there longer last Friday. And then wound up having to go home sooner than expected. So I went back on Saturday. But anyway, I went and hung out with our buddy Chad, My Daily Bourbon. Chad. On Friday afternoon. Had some beers. I brought over a beer that I had in my fridge for, I want to say, 5 years. It was a beer.
5 years?
Yeah, it was a beer that I was given in my Christmas stocking one year.
Is it a stout?
Yeah.
Did it go bad?
No.
Really?
Stouts are great in the bottle for...
That one was not good.
Which one?
We had last week.
Well, that's because it went sour after having been opened already.
Oh. It tastes like soy sauce.
Yeah, we talked about that. Anyway, they age in the bottle. It was actually, so I said it was in my Christmas stocking, right?
Mm-hmm.
The beer itself was called Lump of Coal.
Oh, because you were a bad boy.
Well, it's very strange that you say that considering it was my mother-in-law who gave me that beer.
Makes sense. Makes perfect sense. Who made it? Where's it from?
It was imported from England, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
But
maybe she doesn't hate you that much.
It was incredible. There was still a little bit left over, so I got to bring some home with me. But I mean, it was just kind of like a pint bottle in between like the 3 or 4 of us that were drinking it. We didn't have a whole lot of it while I was there, but it was a fun time. So anyway, I went back the next day, and Chad was asking me, what I was doing on Saturday. And I said, I'm not sure yet. Lucy has to go into work. He's like, well, if you come back around 1:00, there'll be a special guest here. I was like, I can probably make it happen. I just have to double check. So I did. Everything was fine. I walk into the tasting room, and there's Eric Jansen.
Cowboy himself.
Cowboy himself, indeed. And what didn't initially, it didn't initially intend to be like a turkey tasting. It kind of turned into one, of course.
Listen, if Eric Jansen's involved with anything, it's going to be turkey.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just him. I'm surprised that the Jimmy Russell didn't walk in.
Yeah. So a lot of like sourced turkey. There was one barrel in particular from a company called Circle City.
Oh, in Indianapolis.
Yeah. And they had it was like a 9-year 103 proof turkey barrel that was unbelievably good.
Really?
Like I'd asked him to get one for me.
Still around?
I believe so. You might need to get one too. Like it was that good.
The bad thing is I was in Indianapolis like 2 weeks ago.
If we had thought about it.
Yeah, I didn't know.
Yeah. Anyway. Also got to try a couple of Brook Hills.
Oh, yeah?
That...
You get to try the Bee Dream?
The Bee Dream. That's
Bee
funny.
Dream?
Yes, the Buttercream Dream.
Mm-hmm.
I did get to try the Buttercream Dream, which is 147 proof.
I got to try it before it was finished.
Oh, really?
One time I went over there, it was when he gave me the present for my birthday. What'd you just do?
Did you hear that?
What was that? Did you break it?
I don't think so.
You break my mic stand?
No, it's fine. I just moved it a little bit. Anyway, you went over there for your birthday.
Yeah, and I got to try it, and he was telling me about it, and like at the time he didn't know that it was he didn't know what it was gonna turn into.
Yeah.
It was kind of still, but he had already named
Actually,
it.
I think I remember that because at one point he was talking about like it might go into a blending.
Yeah, he didn't
something or other.
He was like, it's special. It's special, and he already said the name of it and stuff like that. But it was only like 142 proof at the time.
Jeez. And it went up to 147.
Yeah.
So I do you remember how old it is?
I couldn't tell you. I mean,
actually, I think I took pictures. Now that I think about it,
I want to say 10 years old or something like that. Maybe 9. I can't remember.
9 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And there were only 18 bottles that yielded from that barrel.
He only got a few for himself.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
12 went to market.
Yeah. That's wild.
Insane. But there was another, I don't remember the specifics of it, but it was another hazmat Brook Hill at like 150 something proof.
Out of control.
So we were sitting around talking about it, specifically about Buttercream Dream. I was like, could you imagine this as a bourbon and Coke? And Chad goes, kinda. Do you want to try it? So we brought out a Diet Coke, and we sat around and tried the Buttercream Dream as a bourbon and Coke, and it was phenomenal.
Of course it was. Probably the best bourbon and Coke ever.
Pretty much.
Y'all trying to be whiskey mutants over there. You should have filmed it and got somebody really mad. They would. They would have went, oh my God, I can't believe you're doing that.
But the something else that was on the bar too that I had been wanting to try. I wanted to get a bottle, but it sold out too quickly. The Sealbox 15. You remember how I said it turned into a turkey tasting?
Yeah.
The Sealbox 15 is Buffalo Trace distilled wild turkey.
There it is.
I didn't know that.
There it is.
I could have put 2 and 2 together, but I didn't know that.
There it is.
It's incredible.
Is it?
It's really, really good. I was really impressed with it. So
I've heard they do good stuff over there.
something else I missed out on.
Something else.
No, I'm not upset about that. But always a great time getting to hang out at Rare Character. And
Can't believe Eric
see
Jansen's
ya.
just randomly in town.
bro, I asked him, how often are you doing this? And he's like, more than you think.
What does that mean?
What do you mean?
He just shows up.
He just like
He's in
happens
town.
to come in town. And I'm like, then tell me.
Was he with anybody? Just by himself?
No, it was just by himself. We had another guy with us too. His name was Kyle. Super nice guy. But Chad from It's Bourbon Night showed up too at one point.
Who's that?
Yeah, I knew you were going to say that.
It's a special time here.
It's a special time indeed.
Team Bip.
Here's the thing.
Tell me the thing.
The thing is,
Tell me the thing.
I know the stigma around the antique collection these days. It has gone up in price. People are likely not going to find most of these bottles at all. Even if you do, you're probably not going to find them at MSRP. You may have the opportunity, though, to go to a place like OBC. You might go to Bluegrass Tavern if you're around here. You may go to, what's it in DC? Jack Rose.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll have some of these. So in light of that, we understand that when we review these, it is less because we're telling you which one you should go out and buy. It's more, which one should you look out for if you see them?
We're doing our
Available.
duties of letting you, the listener, live through us.
I guess so.
We're doing the
This is
Lord.
just a huge asterisk on top of
We're
like
doing the Lord's work.
this thing. So the antique collection. This is if I'm not mistaken, the 20th year since William Larue Weller came out. So it's been going on for, 25 years
25 years of the antique
of
collection.
Weller at Buffalo Trace.
Oh, never mind.
I'm all sorts of confused now. Anyway, it's been going on for about 20 years.
It's changed over the years.
It's changed a lot. It used to be you could walk into stores and just find the antique collection sitting on shelves for as low as like $60.
Yeah.
And then it got bumped up to $100 as people found it more enticing and became more popular. People were selling it on secondary.
Yeah, you used to... local stores had a lot more to provide some of their loyal customers. There was a lot more. And then, like Perry said, it got harder and harder to get. Secondary came around. And, and now you're lucky if some stores are lucky if they get any.
Yeah.
So it is what it is.
And now it looks like the MSRP is up to $150.
When I got the last antique collection I got was that lower proof GTS, and I got that for $95.
Is that the one a bottle chugged?
Yes. Still a little left, so we're hanging on by everything.
Hanging on by a thread.
But after COVID and I think more of the raffles started becoming a thing, and I think the distilleries started doing, obviously you're not going to get the antique collection at Buffalo Trace, but I feel like they started selling more stuff at distilleries and the bigger stores. We talked about this, Liquor Barns, the Total Wines. They started getting a lot more, and some of the local stores got less.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, but with all that said, thank you, Buffalo Trace.
Thank you, Sazerac.
Everybody who works with Perry to send us samples. They were nice enough to not only send us one, which would have been amazing, but they sent us two.
We got two. we got the William Larue Weller at 124.8 proof, I think is what it is.
Okay.
Whatever.
It's not working. I think it's a very clear bottle too.
Yeah. What's the actual proof on it?
125.8.
125.8, not 124.
125.8.
My apologies. And we also have the George T. Stagg at 136.1 proof.
Do you think that whenever they talk to each other, they're like, "Remember that year that Stagg quit and he didn't? He had his COVID year and it didn't count. And it didn't come out."
WLW is over 12 years old, aged on the lower floor of the Rick House. Trying also to avoid tasting notes. The George T. Stagg is aged more than 15 years and 2 months. So, very excited for these.
Yeah, and I don't know. I feel I'm not trying to get all whiskey mutiny and crazy and like this is just special. I mean, like it's nice to get to try these because there's a good chance we'll never try them again. Yeah. And it's nice to have people who look out for us and are nice enough to share with us things that are expensive and rare and hard to get. So.
I haven't even made up my mind yet if we'll do our full nose palate finish price.
We don't have to.
I don't know. I don't know if we will, honestly, because again, like these are not bottles that you can really just go out and pick up.
Yeah.
I mean, and I know we've done that. We did it for, Russell's 15, but I think that you even have like a better chance at Russell's 15.
That's why I was so mad. I could have got a Russell's 15.
Yeah.
Probably twice because Wild Turkey even sends out emails now. You can reserve stuff online. Like you can't get on
there's no online lottery for the antique collection.
I mean, that's my thing is I could have got Russell's 15.
Yeah.
But unless you're in a raffle or somebody or you want to pay secondary, that's how it is. So I don't know. However you want to do it. I
say we taste them, we talk about them, but we don't necessarily provide scores. I think people are going to know which one we prefer. We'll talk about which one you should pick up.
Yeah.
These are pretty.
I mean, I hope that you would, if you have the chance to get it and you can afford it and you see any of these, I hope you just get it.
Well, yeah, of course.
So
historically, too, these have been the two releases from the antique collection that we have preferred.
Yeah.
For the most part.
Handy's pretty close.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's rare that we have Eagle Rare that we love, even though a couple of years ago Eagle Rare was phenomenal.
Awesome. Yeah.
22, I think.
Yeah, something like that.
I don't know. I don't have much else preamble.
Let's just drink it. Tell them what
Let's go for it. Yeah, let's start with the Weller.
All right.
And again, wait. I did not try either of these before.
You are a strong boy.
I was a strong young man.
Strong young man. All right.
Dang it.
Some of the best wheated bourbon in history. Man, that's strawberry biscuits, baby. I said something on the Patreon that I kind of liked, and I kept it in my head about the bottle we had. I said, if there's a note that you can think of, but it's better than it really is, it's from its purest form. And like, if there's a strawberry jelly like bush or tree, and you could squeeze it from it. Like, I know strawberries grow in bushes and stuff, but an actual jelly that's made into a jelly, and you just
like the syrup.
it just came from the purest form. Like, that's what this smells like. A little bit of biscuit on there. That's what I always.
I'm picking
want.
up what you're putting down.
I always want a good strawberry strawberry jelly biscuit on a wheated bourbon.
It's so funny too because we've spent most of this year trying wheated bourbons that have not been stereotypical wheated bourbons.
Mm-hmm.
And here we are on the tail end within, the last, 5 or 6 episodes that will come out this year. And probably the last wheated bourbon that we'll taste on the podcast. Going, this is what we want wheated bourbon to smell like.
This is the
gold standard.
The standard, man.
Yeah.
God, it smells so good. It's just
it really
dark
does.
strawberry jelly and biscuits.
Okay.
Right up front. Holy cow. Wow. There's so much up front on that.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
I just made love to strawberry jelly. I made sweet love to it. And this is the after feeling. I mean, from the finish is so good.
The finish is crazy.
The finish turns almost.
It goes rhubarb.
I was going to say dark purple. It goes from a bright strawberry red into this dark purple thing. Not quite great, but yeah, I would say rhubarb is a good thing, a good description. But like the front is wild. The front is it's like a front finish. It hits the front. It hit the front of my tongue and mouth in a way that normally a finish would.
A front finish.
Yeah, whatever that means. I don't even know what it means. Lord. And I'd say less biscuit, more pie crust. Like a crust from a pie. A little crispy crust.
There is a lot of alcohol on here too. It's hot.
Yeah, I mean,
it is a hot.
I think
pour.
that's what hit me right up front.
Yeah,
too.
But it's oddly well balanced with the amount of flavor that's on it, though. I'm not being distracted from the flavor with the heat.
Mm-mm. I mean, it. I would think this was almost hazmat.
It is so consistent too. Like I'm not really like, my experience hasn't changed between the first and the second sip. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm gathering more notes, I suppose, but it's definitely not going in places where I'm like, oh, I didn't notice that the first time.
I can smell that all day.
I'd make a candle out of that.
Oh my God. Delicious.
Dude, that's crazy.
That's
crazy, crazy good.
Yeah, I don't know how else to explain it, but crazy, crazy good.
I mean, it's better than the one we had. It's better than the WLW that came out last year. That one was disappointing for the both of us.
Yeah.
And it wound up on our most disappointing.
Yeah, it just wasn't what we normally were used to. This is back. It's back, baby.
Yeah.
I mean,
in a big way.
That's the gold standard right there for wheat bourbon.
Having just had the Maker's DNA, how do you think it compares to no comparison?
No comparison.
You're shaking your head. You had the tiny little head shake that I'm not even sure would pick up on camera.
Yeah. No, different ball game. If there's a rookie of the year in the minor league, you know that guy is really good.
Yeah.
but you know he's not the rookie of the year in the major league.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I get it.
He's good, but he ain't on this level yet. that ain't much that's going to touch that as far as wheated bourbon. I mean, put that up against any of them.
It's so crisp, too. I mean,
there's nothing rough. I mean, I know you said it was a little hot, and
but again, like it's not detracting from it.
No.
It just feels like part
rough.
of the experience of what this is meant to be. And there is a portion of me while I'm drinking it where I kind of feel like I'm not left wanting anything on it. But I don't know if that's entirely the case. You know, like that would lead people to think that if we did give it a score, it would be a 20 out of 20.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the case. I don't even think that is entirely the case.
I mean, this thing is damn good. There is a WLW I've had that
yes
is the perfect bourbon, pretty much.
Yeah.
It's the hazmat.
The hazmat one.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's absolutely. This is right there with it. But if I was going to think of something like, what does this need? Whatever that had, I don't know if it was the hazmat proof or just
I think it might be. I think it's missing a little bit of darkness.
Maybe that's
on the
it.
palate.
Maybe it needs to be a little thick, not like thick like
no. I
mouthfeel,
think
but
it is
like a fuller. It needs to be a little bit full, as in like heavy.
Yeah, I completely agree with you.
But
I mean, yeah, but at the same, like in the moment while drinking it, I'm so appreciative of the pour itself. It's layered, it's complex, it's reminding me why I started doing the podcast in the first place.
And
you know,
like I said, you know, we're not really scoring it or anything. And when you look at price, I would just say, personally, I would pay money, like a good amount of money for this bottle, and I would be happy with the taste. It did not disappoint, no matter if you have to pay a little bit more than what you normally would.
Before we go too far,
You gonna read about it?
Yep. No, I just wanted to. Well, I can read about it.
Yeah, tell them what they're saying there.
But I wanted to make sure that the MSRP was in fact $150. It is. So from Buffalo Trace, the 2024 William Larue Weller barrels aged over 12 years on the lower floor of a Rick warehouse at Buffalo Trace Distillery at a barrel entry proof of 114. The Antique Collection's uncut, unfiltered, wheated recipe bourbon is hand bottled at 125.8 proof and honors W.L. Weller, who pioneered the wheated bourbon recipe, substituting wheat for the traditional rye grain. On the nose of the 2024 William Larue Weller, a blend of new leather, light pipe tobacco, and caramel, enveloped by the warm sweetness of marshmallow and hints of ripe fruit.
Oh.
Rich caramel and toffee notes coat the palate with a long finish and oak, caramel, and fruit notes. The 2024 Global Whiskey Challenge awarded last year's WLW Bourbon Best of Class North America during the 2024 Global Whiskey Challenge.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. More and more, like as it's kind of just sitting, I'm getting so much like toasted graham cracker.
I did like that marshmallow note that they said. Now that I think about it, it does have like some kind of like a little marshmallow like mixed into the strawberry.
Yeah. Just phenomenal.
I'm going to save a little bit of that.
No, I am too.
All right.
And on the other hand,
now this is supposed to be, this is Grandpa's. This is Grandpa's whiskey right here
in the perfect 100 ml flask.
Papa. I thought it was funny that if you listen to
just a little bit.
No,
please.
Sorry, this is mine now. I'm just playing. If you listen to my Disney podcast,
that's good.
We did an episode where over the Enchanted Rose, which is a Beauty and the Beast
Mhm.
inspired one. And April asked what I thought the Beast would drink. And I said,
Stagg.
well, I said, well, he's pretty angry and bitter. He's probably just chugging like Jack Daniels and beer. But her answer was George T. Stagg. And I was like, how did you figure that out?
It's a good answer.
She Googled it. What whiskey would a Beast drink? And the first answer came George T. Stagg.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. So I agree. I was like, that's better than any answer I can think of. All right.
Now here is the self-admitted like stigma I had around George T. Stagg for the longest time. I didn't want to like it more than William Larue Weller because I was so committed to the taterness of like, I want the wheated bourbon to be the best. I want WLW to be my golden boy.
Didn't you get a bottle? You got a bottle in the beginning of the podcast
of WLW.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like
the
that's
second episode.
Your special bottle.
Yeah.
Like
it's gone now.
Well, I know that, but it holds the brand itself.
It absolutely does. But like, it wasn't really until I tried George T. Stagg that I was like, oh, okay.
Okay. Papa.
Look at
the color.
The color is insane. It is so dark. Okay. Let's just
take a little smell. Now I am comparing this to what we had on Pop Chicka Wow earlier.
I am too.
And it's not even close to the same thing.
They're on totally opposite
not even
ends
similar
of the spectrum
at all.
They're not even playing in the same league. To continue with the baseball metaphor.
No.
You know what it also reminds me of? We've had a lot of 15-year-old bourbon recently.
Yeah, there's a lot of 15-year-old bourbon going around these days.
This reminds me of specifically Russell's 15. Not so much the Buffalo Trace distilled turkey stuff.
Now, part of me expected to smell cherry Coke. Because that's what
yeah. Nope.
This is not cherry Coke.
It is dusty, funky oak.
This is
through and through.
Shoe polish box.
Kind of, yeah.
Leather, like.
Oh, it's so much leather.
Something you're just like, this is man. And, I'm not saying that females can't drink bourbon or there's no female. This smells like Pawpaw. Like his shoebox that just makes you be like, this guy's tough. He's a hero. He just knows everything. And that smell
even if he's confidently incorrect.
Yeah. But there's just that smell. Like you said, it's a little dusty, a little leathery, but you like it. Almost like it's comforting.
Yeah.
And it's protective. It's a very I'm safe here, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Oh, no, 100%.
Yeah, I half expected a cherry Coke, and this is
pipe tobacco too.
Yeah,
Not even like a cigar, just specifically pipe tobacco.
Tobacco, leather, polish,
dude,
wood.
This is crazy. We've had such a good day of tasting whiskeys.
There's the cherry. There's a dark cherry note on that.
And the day of tasting whiskeys just got better.
Whoa. It's a Pawpaw just gave.
Oh my gosh, they're finished.
Pawpaw just gave me a cherry cordial. And it's so good. A dark, leathery, thick cherry cordial. You know the heaviness that the WLW was missing?
This is it.
This is heavy. This is just heavy. It just feels heavy. 136.1 proof of pure deliciousness.
This is so much more in my ball house these days.
Yeah.
I mean, just straight up what I want, what I love.
What I want more of.
Yeah. About bourbon.
Man, it's hard to explain. I mean, I wish that I could just describe it even better, but it's just nice. Just nice and heavy, protective.
Brown sugar. It's almost like baked apples. You know,
I could see that.
There is a because I was almost leaning towards like if there were ever such a thing as like a dark cherry apple pie, because that's kind of where I'm leaning with this.
Yeah. Dark cherry apple pie.
With a lot of, again, just an insane amount of oak, but the oak doesn't go dry. It's a very wet, moist palate.
You know what I love about it? I think, and it's very rare that I kind of cinnamon.
Sorry, I had to say it quickly before I lost it.
Usually I want it to be like I smell the nose and I go into the palate and it's like one big, it runs right together and it's like, man, this is a complete package. The experience I get with this one is the nose is the stuff I get on the nose is meant to be smelled. It's not like I'm going to go chew leather. I'm going to chew a bach. Like, it's meant to be smelled.
Yeah.
And yeah, maybe it doesn't taste like that, but that's a good thing. I don't really want to taste dry wood and like cologne and stuff like that.
Fresh leather.
Yeah, I don't want to taste that. So when it turns into something I can taste, like this dark cherry apple cordial thing, that's awesome. That is truly the total package.
Yeah.
Something you can smell that is a smell. And it turns into a taste, something that you can actually taste if, like, you made that. Man,
this is ridiculous.
I want this. I want a big old full bottle of this for myself.
So you know
and
what's
to share with you and.
Well, I mean, I want
else.
one too. Yeah,
I want it.
But you know what's funny, and I'm kind of running the numbers in my head. I think. These either score the exact same or the Stagg is only 1 point higher. Like if we did the scores.
If I did the score, the Stagg would be the winner, but barely.
Just ever so slightly.
I'd say 1 point, half point maybe.
Yeah.
It's got the heaviness. And,
But it is kind of missing a little bit of like just a pop of brightness to it. I could use just a little bit of like
with
balance.
With George T. Stagg, I don't know if I need any brightness.
I mean, that's fair. You know what? That's fair.
I just think
completely fair. You're right.
I just think there's a heaviness that this has over that.
That's crazy good.
Oh, that's a great George T. Stagg, man. I mean, people listen, they're all good. Well, they are all good, but some of them are better.
Some are better than others, for sure.
This is a heavy, heavy pour that gives you two different experiences from the nose to the palate. And it's delicious. I was happy to share that with you.
I'm happy to share that with you, too.
And look.
There's still half a bottle of each.
So.
We could have a little bit more of this, Stagg.
Think so?
A little bit more of the Stagg.
I will not say
a little bit more of the Stagg. Before we move on, I'm going to read their tasting notes. So I found it.
Didn't you read the one already?
For George T. Stagg?
Yeah.
No. I read it for Weller.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Buffalo Trace Distillery first released George T. Stagg bourbon in 2002 in response to a consumer request for a well-aged barrel-strength whiskey. The Kentucky... What could you imagine just going to Buffalo Trace and being like,
give me barrel proof.
This one. Put out a barrel-strength 4 grain.
Put it out.
No, I'm thirsty.
They're like, okay, geez, we will.
Fine.
Oh my God.
Sounds good.
They go and get you some. They just hand it to you. Like, get out
The
of my face.
time they are changing.
Harlan Wheatley's like, this is how they used to do things. They just give people stuff.
I think he was the master distiller back then, too.
Was he?
Yeah. He's been there a long time.
He was like, get these people off the property. I don't like
I'm busy.
I'm busy.
The Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey is known for its bold character reminiscent of its namesake, the original purchaser of OFC Distillery, now famously recognized as Buffalo Trace. This year's George T. Stagg sits at 136.1 proof and is comprised of barrels aged more than 15 years and 2 months. The whiskey presents a powerful aroma of deep-aged wood, rich oak, and dark cherry. A layered profile of spice, oak, caramel, and a soft touch of cinnamon hit the palate. Its long and drying finish leaves a lasting impression of complexity and warmth. It won the International Whiskey Competition
All the time.
for best bourbon.
Ever. All the time.
Best bourbon, American, and Kentucky whiskey.
So we were pretty close to their, pretty much spot on their tasting notes.
Yeah.
So Harlan Wheatley and us, we have the same palate. So Buffalo Trace, if you need anybody,
Hit us up.
let us know. Think that'll happen?
No,
Okay.
but I would love for it to.
We can dream.
And here's where we lose our minds because we realize just how great this has been so far.
God, even going back to the Weller after I've had the GTS, it may be, it's two different animals.
Yeah.
But man, they're both good. It's always fun when you get to try some antique collection.
Dude, the Weller is still so good.
It's just essential wheat.
That's
bourbon.
fantastic.
It's just great.
Weller was a miss. Sorry, that was a Patreon thing that we did. Hey, grab your beer glass.
Jiu-jitsu.
We are going to pour a beer.
Yeah, Jerobi.
Yeah, Jerobi. That we in years past, we have been fortunate enough to get sent. Oh, jeez.
Come on, you got
Where
this.
the heck is the?
Come on,
thing?
you got it.
I got it.
You got it.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, maybe. Nope. Yep. There it is. Oh yeah. Got it. It's in there.
Beers from the Bourbon County lineup from Goose Island. I kind of have foregone pursuing those over the past couple of years because the production on them and you not really loving stouts is a bit much.
Yeah.
So either way, they are still some of my most anticipated releases over the years. And
Oh, that's dark.
earlier this year,
Somebody's on live on YouTube right now.
yeah, they're talking about the new episode of Dragon Ball Daima.
Oh,
I'll pour you a little bit more here in a second.
I'll probably be good.
Okay. That's, dude, there's still...
Well, let me try it first.
Okay, fair enough. Anyway, earlier this year, Papa Ritter and Mama Ritter
Hey, Mama Ritter.
and shut up.
What? I was just saying hi.
You didn't say hi to Papa Ritter?
He knows.
Yeah. I know. Went up to Chicago to see the Rolling Stones.
The Stones.
And they went to the Goose Island Brewery.
Oh, they went to the actual place.
They went to the actual place. And they were chatting with the bartender. And as Dad is kind of wont to do, he started talking to the bartender about the podcast.
Oh, I thought he was going to say the thermostat. It's like, it's a little cold.
It's a little cold in here. Can you just crank it up a bit?
You show me where it's at.
I'm not paying the bill, you know. I can take a look at it for you. Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I noticed you got a couple lights that are out in here. Too. You need me to take a look? Yeah.
So,
I heard your car was running a little.
what's your power bill running these days? You know, I could probably show you a few tricks.
I can help you out. Anyway, so the bartender goes, you know what? I'm going to give you one of our Bourbon County Stouts for them to drink on the podcast.
Oh,
So this came not just from Goose Island. It came directly from one of the employees there who wanted us to have it.
he was a good goose.
He was a good goose. Whole goose and the gander. Let's just move on.
Okay.
So this has been I hadn't had room to bring it home until I got my office fridge.
Yeah.
But this is the Kentucky Fog Stout.
It's made with tea.
Made with tea. Aged in bourbon barrels, of course. But it's blended with Earl Grey tea, black tea, and honey. Been a lot of honey talk.
A lot of honey talk.
Today.
Not from us.
So I didn't want to drink this before we had our review because I was afraid it was going to destroy our palates. This is kind of our dessert. Yeah. I didn't even see the ABV. Oh, 14.1.
Does not smell bad. It's very strong. It does. That tea comes through.
There's some pepper. Oh, I love the way this smells. It's afternoon tea.
Afternoon delight. All right.
That is delightful.
Okay. I can handle that.
It's not nearly as dark.
No, it's not got that soy sauce. No, the tea comes through a lot.
It really does.
I'm not a big tea drinker, but I appreciate tea, if that makes sense, especially warm tea.
I love tea.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Try one more drink here.
You're just going to try one more?
That's pretty good. That is honey. I do get honey on that. Especially at that second sip, I got a lot of honey on there. Not bad.
I like that.
Well, thanks, Goose.
Yeah.
His name's Goose, right?
I'm sure it was.
Goose at the bar. Appreciate you.
Goose Island has always been really good to us when it comes to these releases. It's probably too late to ask if they would send us any this year's, but
just call Goose.
I might try to reach out if I have time to this afternoon.
Just be like, hey, my friend's bartender.
Send him an email. I think his name's...
You met my mom and dad.
First name Goose, last name Island.
Yeah. My mom and dad met him a while back. You know, they're like, oh, yeah.
He honked at him, gave him some breadcrumbs, and then chased him away. He might know our buddy Swan.
Well, they're like, oh, yeah, he got fired because he's not supposed to give beer away. I love that honey note on there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's so completely different from any other stout we've had from them.
Yeah, I can get down with that.
Yeah, that's phenomenal.
It's good.
That was our requirement, was we just had to drink it on the podcast and talk about it. And we wound up loving it. So
if anybody wants to give us, and that's the requirement, we'll gladly.
Yeah, exactly.
That's it. I will give you this George T. Stagg bottle, but you have to drink it on the podcast. You know what?
And talk about it. Wow. I don't know.
That's tough.
I don't know if we can do that.
But you know what? I think I'll try.
Sounds like a lot of work for two guys who
I think I'll
see each other once a week and one of them has to edit the stuff they talk about.
I think I'll try.
Yeah. We're now going to try and talk about stuff that has been sent to us via the internet.
Ooh. What is the internet?
Boy, we got a lot to talk about. Oh, man. Well, it all started back. I wrote a paper on the internet once. Like the history of the internet.
But it was boring.
It was awful. And I could only use...
Back in my day, my mom had to unplug the phone and then plug the internet up.
To do the research, too, I couldn't use the internet. I had to use, encyclopedias for it.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was nuts.
Door-to-door salesman selling Encyclopedia Britannica.
I mean, I used the ones from, my school library. But anyway...
859-428-8253.
Yeah, that's our number for barrel rings, 859-428-8253, where you can call or text into the show. You can leave us a voicemail or send us a text message. I believe it's our toll-free line. I don't know how that works. I'm going to say I'm going to start saying it's toll-free.
It's collect call. They have to pay
CALLATT.
for it.
It's free for you and cheap for them.
Anymore. And they're like, they get charged for it every
It's
time.
been showing up on my phone bill every month.
Do the thing like when your dad was in jail and they he calls collect and he just says the message in the name.
When your dad was in jail.
When you have a call from Chuck, thanks. Hey, kid. Sorry, couldn't get around here. See you later.
Your mom's going to get this, right?
And they don't answer, and you just got the message.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I still need the milk.
Do you accept the charges?
No. I just want the milk. I just want to learn jujitsu with you, Dad.
He is not an absent father. You take that back.
What? My dad? Yeah, he is.
Well, your dad's different. We got two barrel rings, and then we got a fan mail letter.
What?
Yay! Let's see if it...
You've got mail. This is the old days of the internet.
Yeah.
You've got mail.
First piece of mail comes from our buddy Jared Quant.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Jared here. I was going to call in, give you guys some crap for a couple things. But you know what? Thursday kicks off my absolute favorite time of year. So instead, happy Thanksgiving. And happy Thanksgiving to all the listeners. I hope everyone takes a break, spends some time with family, eats a metric shit ton of turkey, eat a couple pies, day drink the weekend away, whatever you need to do, football, whatever it takes. So let's all take a minute, be thankful for what we have. I know it's been chaotic for the last month. Just be thankful for what we got, have some time with family, and finish the year strong. Let's get it.
Yeah, let's get it. So motivational.
What Disney movie was he in?
Yeah, let's get it. They're going to win the junior hockey division.
Yeah, that's exactly
Him and his team.
what I was... Coach is right.
Let's go. Thanksgiving.
Sit down.
We're not even in the finals, you idiot. And the text to translation, it says it's Jared's hair on there, and he said
Jared
Jared's
hair.
It's Jared hair. So my favorite thing is it's Jared hair. So yeah, enjoy Thanksgiving. And if you get down in the dumps and you need some motivation to get through your holiday meal or family's coming over, just play this over again and listen to Jared's hair tell you that you can do it.
What are you going to be drinking on Thanksgiving, by the way, other than the obligatory turkey?
Probably our characters.
I'm going to be making up a big old batch of the Wild Rush.
You give everybody heartburn.
Yeah, every single one of them.
Just everybody, you got the Tums, Perry.
No, bring them. Why not?
You give a Tum with each pour.
It's a garnish on the glass.
It's the most old person thing ever. I start garnishing all my cocktails with Tums. That's me. That's how I know I'm getting old.
And then we got a text from our buddy, Tony Bag of Donuts.
Tony.
He said, it's a barrel ring on the phone, and it's ringing while I'm drinking all alone. Did you guys get that?
I mean, it rhymed.
Just kidding. By the way, I'm never alone with Tim Bip, because it's my Bourbon Podcast. All right, well, I made a barrel ring. Cheers, boys. Wait, happy Turkey Day, everybody. May your pours be paired and your pies be pumpkin.
Oh,
that was a good one.
Pours be paired and your pies be pumpkin.
I love that.
I like it too. I'm glad he was able to see the screen to type that. My special boy, Tony.
You don't think that he used touch to voice to text?
Listen, Tony taught me.
Touch to type is what I almost said, which is just typing.
Tony taught me a trick. And it's to, if your eyes start getting a little bad, just use your iPhone to be able to read.
Dude, that's an incredible trick.
And I thought I was like, what's he doing? And then I realized that actually works.
No, it's
I'm thankful for Tony.
Super life hack.
Yeah. He did it.
Yeah.
He did it.
He did it. Thanks, Tony. And thanks, Jared.
And thank you, Jared.
And thank you to W. Lebanon from New Hampshire, who sent in fan mail through our Buzzsprout site. which again, we talked about at the top of the episode. If you want to submit some fan mail too, you can do so through the description on your podcast app where it says send us a text message. Just click that and you'll be able to submit some fan mail. Lebanon, I don't know. Depends on what part of the country you're from or world. Hey guys, just started listening and I'm only 3 episodes in. I started listening to various bourbon-related podcasts, and yours is the most relatable to the regular guy.
That's a nice compliment.
That was, honestly, that was like what made this review, this fan mail, like the most heartwarming, the most prescient, where I was like...
I do. I pride ourselves on whether you like us or hate us. We are definitely not the if you know, you know.
Yeah.
Hey, you're invited to all this stuff because we know who you are. Like, we're not. Unfortunately, we want to go to events and we want to get special stuff and all that. We're lucky to have the friends we do.
We will be at a couple of festivals next year, though.
Yeah.
So,
but we are definitely coming from a we're the ordinary guys who some bottles that we review we have to buy ourselves, and
most bottles,
unless you see it in a sample bottle, most of the time it's something we bought ourselves.
Yeah, I mean it's when we get sent samples of stuff, and I mean we did just review a couple of things from the antique collection, but how often do we get sent things from Buffalo Trace?
That's it.
That was the first time this year, and it's November.
Yeah. And on his journey of listening backwards, it's going to get crazy.
I actually hadn't gotten there yet, but he said on some of the other ones, I feel like a loser because I don't live in Bardstown and know a whole bunch of cool people. Anyway, love your back and forth. I'm going to start working my way backwards in the podcast.
Imagine if he's working backwards and gets to my first episode and he's like... He sends me a message. He's like, "You've grown a lot."
If he starts with episode 1 and it's like, "Where's Eric?"
He's like, "What is this?
Who is the baby bourbon boy?"
But that's awesome. I do appreciate that, and I mention that a lot, and I'm sure people are tired of hearing it. Like, shut up, you get stuff, whatever. But there is a,
and we do get stuff.
Yeah, but there's definitely a crowd.
Who gets everything? Yeah,
and just unfortunately, we want to be able to review everything. We want to go to stuff, but we don't. But that's we're the regular guys.
So, but take a step back from that and think about our situations and how different they are from the people who do get to go to everything and who get everything, right? So, a lot of these people don't have kids, and if they do have kids. Excuse me. This is their full-time job.
Yeah.
This is the only thing that they do for work.
It'd be awesome.
Dude, that was always my goal with this, was to make the podcast, make the content creation my only job. And unfortunately it just didn't go that way. And I think it was because I had to split my focus between my day job.
Yeah.
And the content creation. And also because I'm a regular human being who has a partner that doesn't have as much interest in this as I do.
Yeah, I understand.
So I'm not, I don't have that opportunity. And I also I started at a point where it was almost 2 years too late. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It just wasn't the exact right time for me.
Yeah. That was the way it was with Mr. Beast. I started to wait too long.
What do you mean?
I could have been Mr. Beast.
You could have been Mr. Beast?
He started a couple years before me.
You could have healed blind children?
I could have. I thought about...
Created Wonka's Chocolate Factory?
I thought about recording myself counting to a bajillion on the internet and all of a sudden, and I knew that it would eventually blow up.
Right.
But I was just 2 years too late.
Counting every decimal of pi you could for charity.
What's the... W-Leb, I'm going to call you W-Leb. What's the bourbon scene like in New Hampshire?
I have no idea about this. Might be our first New Hampshire listener.
I don't know anything about New Hampshire. Like
They're in the New England area.
Yeah, I get that. Hopefully you're not a Patriots fan. Are you a Patriots fan?
If they are, it's fine.
No, it's not.
Are you? Okay.
I'm just playing. Thank you for the fan mail.
Let's talk about this. Are you allowed to be a Tom Brady fan without being a Patriots fan?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, if
because
you
Tom Brady's one of the GOATs.
Well, if you never liked him on the Patriots, but you like Tampa, you're a Buccaneers fan.
But what if you liked him even if he was on the Patriots?
Like you just you can be fans of players.
It's like liking LeBron, even if he was on.
You can't wear
when he
his
was on the
jersey.
Heat.
Can't wear his jersey.
That's fair.
You got to support your team.
Yeah.
But you can be fans of, like, if Josh Allen was to ever leave the Buffalo Bills, I will still be a Josh Allen fan.
Exactly.
I will still dedicate all my time to the Bills, but I will still be a fan of Josh Allen.
Like, even though
Aaron Rodgers, another story. Suck it.
So, Albert Pujols played for the Cardinals.
Yeah.
Even though he left and went to the Angels, I still loved him. He's still one of my favorite baseball players. Yeah. I wouldn't root for the Angels, but I wanted him to succeed. Yeah, exactly.
I think it's a different level of support. I think when you're a fan of a team, you're repping the stuff, you're putting the stuff, but you can also keep up with your favorite players who have maybe moved from team to team and be a fan of a player.
But even if you're not a fan of the team initially, too.
Yeah.
You can still root you were a fan of Brady.
For Tom Brady.
You wanted
be
Brady
a good
to
broadcaster.
succeed.
You can do that.
That's never going to happen.
You can root for him to be a broadcaster. It's fine.
A broadcaster, not even a good one.
Yeah, you can root for him to be like a percent holder for the Raiders. You can, I'm going to root for him to be a good. He's already done that. Yeah, you can do all that.
Now, I'm not a Brady fan per se. I respect him. Up? I heard somebody talking about it on the podcast.
What podcast?
Does it matter?
Does it matter podcast?
No.
Oh. I'm just curious what podcast.
It was the Fear and podcast.
Oh. I don't know what that is. I'm just curious. You said the podcast.
I sent you a clip. Stabby was on one episode.
Oh, that one? That's what I didn't know what it's called.
Yeah. Fear and.
Yeah, he's got like anime stuff in the background.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What'd they say? You can't?
No. They were having a debate between who was better or who was more of the athletic GOAT, Tom Brady or LeBron.
Athletic GOAT?
Yeah.
LeBron all day. He's the most in shape.
I completely agree with you.
He's literally like
I don't think that in one of the hosts' argument was it's Brady because of
his mind. I will say
no. Because of his win record and the amount of championships that he's had.
You're talking about athleticism.
No, it's absolutely LeBron. And I don't even like LeBron that much, but I respect the fact that he is still doing it 20 plus years later at the top level.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's still at his body. He's physically superior to anything Tom Brady was. Tom Brady is a beautiful man. But Tom Brady he became and he learned and he took every little bit of knowledge he knew and put it to good use, and he became what he is, the GOAT.
Well, and the argument too against Brady being the GOAT was that LeBron can basically play every position.
LeBron could go play football right now if he wanted.
Exactly. Brady can't go play basketball. No. Brady also couldn't play.
LeBron was a badass football player. Did you ever see videos of him in high school?
I think I have. I'm sure I have.
LeBron could go play baseball right now if he wanted.
But I'm just saying, Brady couldn't move to left tackle.
Right.
No, he was always a quarterback, and when he got hit, it was the end of the world.
Oh, he got hit.
He was a baby when he got sacked,
and he didn't run that much either.
No, he didn't. He was a terrible running quarterback.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, no, I think it's easily LeBron.
Yeah.
Between the two. And I'm not even saying that LeBron is the GOAT athlete. I think if you're comparing the two, LeBron is just a better athlete.
Yeah.
Anyway. That's my one. I think I've filled my quota of sports talk for the year.
Yeah, you're good. You're good for months now. That's the most sports we've talked on here forever.
That's just reminding everybody that
talking about the Bills and stuff.
I'm not one-dimensional.
Yeah, a little bit of Kentucky basketball, football here and there, Bills talking, we're done. You went full LeBron and Brady. And
I did it, man.
Stuff. You did it. I'm proud of you for that. Proud of you for that.
High proof hot takes.
High proof hot takes. I said at the beginning of this episode I had something to say.
Yeah, tell me about this.
I actually, one more thing that I've been drinking was a big hefty pour of normal Elijah Craig small batch.
Oh,
You want me to tell you how I got this? Listen.
Somebody gave it to you?
Yeah, somebody gave it to me. High proof hot take. I'm going to start it out with like this. MacBooks. We both have them.
We both have them. I love mine.
I love mine. But also, why the hell do you have to restart them in the worst possible times?
Every single time.
Every time. Listen.
You do not understand the amount of times when I'm about to go live
And, you have to
and I have to restart my
You would think we
entire
would not have to
computer.
do that. Every time we've been set up to record, got to restart it. So, okay, so last week I was in charge of making. Me and April were in charge of making Addison's volleyball slideshow for her team. Like freshmen, JV, seniors got their, like people had to send us pictures. I had to put music behind it. I built this slideshow and I built it in like a way that it's like almost like a sports highlight reel. It was awesome. I mean, I watched this thing 50 times to make sure I had the timing right. There's like music that hits at certain points and like, it was good. I will pat myself on the back. Addison loved it. April was like, this is great. We got this because
awesome.
April got all the pictures from the parents. I got it on there. So their banquet is at OBC in the top thing. You know, you walk up steps. Yeah. There's screens that come down. OBC has got like a whole spread. They got food. There's like 100 people plus there. And I'm working with this guy, Chris. He was awesome. Chris was the guy running like the catering and like making sure everything was going well. Well, they don't serve alcohol up top when it's probably, this is a high school.
Yeah, of course.
Team. But you're allowed, the parents, we'd go down to the bar and get...
You've talked about this before.
Yeah, go downstairs, grab a pour. April got some a cocktail. Some of her friends got some wine. It's fine. All right. Before it starts... we test everything out. He's like, let's make sure it works. That's fine. I brought the adapter. It hooked up to the thing. Everything looks good.
I hate where this is going.
Yeah, everything's great.
Yeah.
He's like, he fixed the sound. I was like, it's got to have sound. I was like, all that. Well, we're half, majority of everything's done. They're like, we're going to do the slideshow. I was like, okay. Everybody, I get up there. I hook the MacBook in. Comes on the screen. All right, it's looking good. I get ready to hit play, and it plays the slideshow in like fast forward times 1,000, and it goes through the whole thing. And it goes, and I'll go, what the hell is happening? And then the sound was on, and everything. I'm like, what's happening? And
of course.
So I'm like, well, I don't know what's happening. I'm doing all this. Coaches are like, is everything okay? And then I was like, yeah, it's fine. And then the sound is, I unplug it without the sound, turn the sound, I'm doing preferences. The sound, it starts working, but there's no sound. And this went on for 5 minutes. But when you're in front of a crowd,
it feels like an hour.
I was about to start.
You're sweating. Yeah.
The Chris guys.
Do you remember that that picture of me at Lucy's cousin's wedding where I'm hunched? I'll put it up on screen for anybody who's watching. It's me hunched over the soundboard before their wedding starts. Wow, it was so loud. And just trying to figure out what's going wrong with it. I imagine that's what you look like in that
so
moment.
They're like, Chad, one of my friends, he goes up there. He's like, well, we'll do like this little awards thing. I was like, do that. I'll get it fixed. Chris is like the guy at OBC. He's like, is there anything I can do? I'm like, I don't know. He was like, I got another adapter. I get that adapter. I do all this. It's just not working. For some reason, it's playing everything at 100 miles an hour. I had exported it and made it its own file. I went back into iMovie and just tried to play it from the project. Did the same thing. Went, people are like seeing it. I'm like, oh my God.
That's crazy.
People are like, well, just play it without sound. And I got to the point where I was like, it has to have the sound.
You don't understand.
The music goes with the slideshow. There's different music. You know what? What ended up working? I restarted my computer.
Exactly.
And
every single time.
And I said to myself, this is such a high-speed laptop, does everything you want. Why do I have to restart it anytime I want it to actually do something?
Yeah.
That's my high-proof hot take. And Chris goes, I've been there. I know what that's like. Do you want a shot of something? I was like, you know what? Because the bar upstairs didn't have anybody at it. And he just walked behind there, and he said, what do you want? And I turned, and I just saw Elijah Craig, and I said, I'll take some Elijah Craig. I wasn't going to, like, sit there and try to figure it out. And he just poured me a big glass of Elijah Craig small batch, and it made me feel so much better.
That's awesome.
And he goes, I've been there. That I know what that feels like. And he was like, I appreciate that. And he's just like, here's your Elijah Craig. And then some guy comes to the bar and goes, hey, are you selling pours up here now? He's like, no, this bar is closed.
Walks away.
Yeah. So yes, I had the best pour of Elijah Craig small batch after a very stressful 10 minutes of my life with 60 teenage girls waiting for their pictures to come up on screen and parents laughing at me.
The laughing at you part really, really sucks.
The people who really know me, and they're like, oh, he's dying up there.
Dummy.
Big dummies
Big
up there
dummy.
dying. People were like, did you unplug it? I was like, I've unplugged. All I had to do was restart my computer.
Yeah. Happens every single time.
So MacBooks, get it right. If it's not working, at least remind me to restart the computer.
I'm thinking about just trading mine in at the beginning of the year. Just for the heck of it, because the new ones are so good.
I'm about ready for a new one too.
They are just that, and I've only had mine for a couple years.
Just too.
They're just too good.
So that's my hyper hot take. MacBooks and their restarting problems. Or having to restart due to problems.
I don't really have. I guess it's that seasonal affective disorder sucks.
Yeah.
I've been dealing with it a lot this week, specifically this week. And I was talking to Lucy about it, and I was going, why am I having trouble waking up? Why am I, having trouble going to sleep? I'm not sleeping as well. I'm eating worse. I'm drinking more than I normally do. Just, this, that, and the other. And I was like, well, part of it, even though it's not the numbers side of it, it's mostly the environment of, I guess really it's not just seasonal affective disorder. It's also friggin' daylight savings time.
Oh, it sucks. It gets dark at 5 o'clock.
It's the worst.
It's almost dark right now.
It gets dark at 4:30. What are you talking about?
I don't know.
I mean, it's miserable. And so I get up for work at 7 o'clock and it's pitch black. And I'm like, why do I feel dead? But I want to stay up until 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
It's because my sleep cycle is so busted.
Yeah.
I just don't have the built-in rigor that I did for whatever reason. There's been something about this particular daylight savings that has just royally screwed me over.
Yeah, I know the feeling.
But this is all compounded into my depression has been a little bit worse, and not, when I say my depression has been worse, I think some people will hear that and go, oh, you think you want to
Yeah.
I'm going to have to probably bleep that out in some way on YouTube.
Unalive yourself.
Yeah. But no, I just
you just get down.
I just feel worse.
Yeah.
I feel worse about everything. I feel worse about my circumstances. I feel worse about the future. I feel worse about things I've done in the past. It's just anxiety and depression compound. And I'm at a point now, and I have to remind myself of this too. And I think I've talked about this too. This is also kind of leading into tips and bits, I guess. But I'm at a point where I am able to lower my dosage on my depression medicine, and I can still function at the same rate that I was able to or I feel like I will be able to function at the same rate that I am currently able to at this higher dose.
Yeah.
You know. So for anybody who, you know, doesn't know, yes, I have been medicated for anxiety and depression since I was like 19. I'm 31 now. I will probably, as long as, you know, the world doesn't collapse, be on it for the rest of time. But I'm trying to get to a place where things are a little bit more balanced, and I'm not relying on it as much, and I feel much more comfortable with my circumstances, and not feeling so oppressed by the weight of thinking, oh, this is the end of it all,
right?
You know,
this,
that, and the other. So anyway, this is a roundabout way of saying, like, the environment around you can contribute quite a bit to the way that you feel internally, which leads into my first tips and or bits, which is our segment of the show too, where we recommend things that you can watch, read, listen to, enjoy, or things that I guess are also like just something that we recommend in general. And for me, it is being kind to yourself. To yourself.
Yeah.
As much as we preach, like, and I don't mean to say preach in like, you know, we are preachy on this podcast. We're not.
Fire and brimstone.
As much as we say, like, be kind to others, which I think is the most important thing that you can do.
But you also have yourself.
You also have yourself to take care of. If you are a longtime watcher of this podcast or listener of this podcast, you know, and I guess primarily watchers would notice this more than anything. I have struggled with my weight a lot over the past few years. And at the beginning of the year, I was at my heaviest. I'm currently roughly like 50 pounds lighter than I was.
You can see it
at the beginning
if
of the
you're
year.
Watching, you can tell.
And thank you. And I have to remind myself of that constantly. So much so that, like, there are times where I'm going, like, and I sit in front of the screen and I watch myself a lot. Like, I edit this podcast and I view myself on a screen constantly. And so I am also, even if I'm not like in front of a mirror, I'm looking at myself a lot.
Yeah.
And so I am getting in my own head of like, you're going back that way. You know, you're gaining it all back. Things are not trending in the right direction for you. And like, I haven't lost a lot of weight over the past few months, but I'm at a point where, like, I don't have a whole lot of time to make other major lifestyle changes aside from like cutting out extra carbs, cutting down on drinking,
right?
To where, you know, I could lose the extra weight that I want to, but I'm still comfortable with where I am.
Yeah.
It fluctuates, and like, I have days where I'm feeling slightly worse than others.
Right.
That's to be expected. But like, I am still in front of a screen, in front of a camera a lot. And the other day, I was like, but how bad was it? And I had to go back and I had to watch the episode the week before I started losing weight. And it's crazy.
It should be a good pat on the back of what you've done. I mean,
I want to show you, and I'll tell you all to go back and look at it. It's from the first week of March this year. This was the last one before I started my weight loss journey. It's episode 323.
Different person,
dude. That's
Completely different.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Like, and like, you know, at my lowest where I'm like, I'm feeling bad about myself. I'm, you know, trending in the wrong direction. I go back and I look at this and I'm like, that's barely me.
Yeah.
Like I don't know how this is awful. I don't know how I fit behind the desk.
Yeah. You've come a long way, dude.
So
that's awesome. I'm proud of you.
Well, thank you. But
I wonder what 1792 foolproof that is.
Who knows? I don't even have it
I
anymore.
was just trying to,
you know, but the whole point is that just
look how much Ryan Reynolds has enjoying the show since then.
That's crazy. But the whole point is just be kind to yourself.
Be kind to yourself,
you know?
and don't worry about reminders like that. Reminders are good things. Like, that's a tips and bits. Like, sometimes we like to forget things, but also when you've made progress, it's good to remember things. It's good for you to see that. And I'm not saying that as I want you to bring up bad memories. I want you to use that as like, see your progress.
Well, I'm also fortunate because I have a visual diary on the internet of my journey.
You should do a when you get to like your goal, you should do like a slideshow thing where it's like it does like a clip from everything and just shows it going down.
Yeah, I mean, like I've even thought about just at the end of the year, like taking, you know, a screenshot just from that episode.
Yeah,
and
that's awesome.
Morphing it into where I am now, but you know, it's. This is also a little bit of therapy for me. I apologize, but
I apologize.
It is what it is. But anyway, I've said enough on tips and bits. I had other things I was going to talk about, but I'll save it for next time.
I'm going to just echo what you just said. Like, I had a tips and bits about watching a comedy from like the 2000s that's probably canceled because that's kind of what kick I'm on, The New Guy. So go watch The New Guy. It's hilarious. Elijah Dushku. I may have turned into a man during that movie. That's all.
Eliza.
Okay,
I know, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Oh man. But that movie is hilarious. The New Guy. It's definitely. I've been going back through these comedies that just make me laugh that are very highly inappropriate, but they're there. I love them. I watched them, and then just like Perry said, like be kind to yourself, reward yourself. You know, be hard on yourself. Set a goal, and then work towards it. But do your best. That's all I'm saying. And you can do your best by going to patreon.com/mybourbonpodcast for as little as $1 a month. You can support this show, but at $5, you get all the bonus stuff. You get the pregame chats. You get this episode.
That's a reward for yourself.
Yeah. Early,
getting bonus
uncut.
content.
This week, you get Pop Chickawawa. We opened this Stagg, which honestly, it lives up this 24.
It does, but it's
still not the same. You'll figure it out. Sometimes we do samples. Sometimes we finish bottles that I have in my floor. You get updates. You get access to the Discord. It's just the best place to do things. And apparently, after I met somebody, they joined the Patreon.
Yes, our friend Wilmington Piper, who we primarily know from my live streams on YouTube. And I guess twitch.tv/mybourbongamer if you're not following over there. Still trying to get to the point where we have subscribers. Or there too.
Yeah.
Please. But anyway, yeah, Wilmington Piper.
Wilmington.
Yeah. He's our old WP.
WP
is our new sub.
The reason he got on the Patreon because I went to, you know how every holiday season people get those big like those sausages that are like in plastic.
I do.
Well, there's apparently a specific place that you can get the best of the best.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like,
Critchfield's.
No, it's a secret place.
Oh, secret place. Sorry.
Secret place.
Sorry. Right.
Got to know the password, all this stuff. Well, guess who works there?
WP. Yeah.
Guess who is the measurer of the sausages?
Is it you or WP?
WP.
Oh, okay.
Guess.
Because I've known you to measure some sausages.
WP. So anytime that you get somebody puts it in your stocking, and you're like, damn, that's a big sausage. You can thank WP. And I said, WP, I'm going to pair your sausage this year at Christmas with some of my eggnog, and he said, do it. And he gave me the extended edition of the one you can't really get in stores, secret WP size. And here we are.
That one is actually cheddar stuffed, and it leaks when you cook it. Anyway, you can also, you can also follow us on social media at my. Sorry. Well, we already got his money. You can also follow us on social media at My Bourbon Pod and at Whiskey Mutant. You can also follow me personally at PeterOrder1792. You can send us an email with your questions or comments to thisismybourbonshop@gmail.com. If you have samples, bottles, anything really that you want to send us, hit up the P.O. Box, P.O. Box 22609, Lexington, Kentucky, 40522. And we can receive your package there is exactly where my brain
We're really
said
good
you
at
need to say,
receiving packages,
including big long meat
from WP. If you want some merchandise, you can go to bourbonshop.threadless.com. If you want to help us out in all social, all the algorithms and stuff, you like, comment, subscribe, do all the things.
Review us.
Do that. If you want to be part of the earlier segment where you get to call in or leave a message, 859-428-8253. You can be part of the show. Just tell people about us. Tell your friends. Enjoy. Have a great Thanksgiving. Post
Happy Turkey Day.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Post your drinks, your food, tag us, comment, tell us what you're pairing, what you're drinking, do all the stuff, and have a very merry Thanksgiving.
Bro, how did we gain a Patreon member and then also lose one in the same day?
Because of the meats.
That's ridiculous.
WP's meat is too big for people to handle, and they had to leave.
Anyway. Man, that's a long-time member, too. That sucks.
Can't handle the meat.
Yeah, support the show. Whatever. It's fine. I understand times are weird.
You got that at the wrong time.
I did.
Right
I saw we had 2 notifications, and I was like, what's going on here?
Well, we'll see you next time.
Until then, I'm Perry.
I'm Eric.
And this is My Bourbon Podcast.
Meat.